Hello everyone, thank you very much for coming to watch this video about Cemap 2. First of all, I'm really sorry I had a lot of messages asking me to make a video about this, about Cemap 2. I did make a video about Cemap 1, if you can find that in my description. So I'm really sorry it took me a while. I've just been busy with other stuff in my life. I do have a life. So for people who don't know, Cemap, a mortgage advisor course, is divided into three sections: Cemap 1, Cemap 2, and Cemap 3. So today we're talking about Cemap 2, so let's stick to that. So Cemap 2 is it has 4 units. It's divided into 4 sections, and 4 sections have 4 units. So 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So first of all, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And as you can see, this is my Facebook ID. And I also have a group buying a house in Solihull, Birmingham. I'm from Solihull, so where you can help and advise and share information about buying process and how to get a mortgage and stuff like that. So please, if you are on Facebook, join the group as well. So I'm going to try to keep the video very short and concise. And in the end, I will also give you some advice and tips about the exam, which is very important. So make sure you watch the whole video. So as I said, it's divided into 4 sections. So mortgage section 1 is mortgage law and policy and practice. So first section is unit 3, which talks about mortgage law, policy and practice, which is unit 2. It just gives you an idea and in-depth information about types of borrowers and regulation and principle of mortgage and property law, and the buying of property, the legal aspect of the purchase and regulation, buying process, stuff like that. So you'll have a good understanding once you go through all these topics. So in topic 2, unit 4, they talk about mortgage application. It's the role of mortgage advisor and checking the application, credit status, suitability, and valuation of survey, etc. So that's topic 9 to 15. And then 16 to 22 is mortgage payment methods and products. So that's unit 5. Unit 5, interest options, other mortgage products or scheme or mortgage related insurance products. So it also talks about that. So lastly, unit 6 talks about, which is very important actually in real life as well as the exam. They talk about mortgage arrears and post-completion issues, arrears and debt management, lenders' legal right and remedies. When can they repossess the property? What should they do? The repossessing the property should be the last resort they have. Rather than, if somebody missed a couple of payments, you can't repossess the property. So stuff like that. It just gives you in-depth information about that. So that's topic 23 and 26. Well, as I mentioned in my previous video, there's no such entry requirements. However, you do need to be satisfied that you have an ability to study in English and basic mathematical calculation. It's not very easy. So you do have to consider that, and the time it takes 2 hours. Hard copy will be provided, but you do have online access as well. To be honest, I like studying on readout, so I have a software where I can click on something and right click and read out, so it reads it out to me. The same thing with this as well. You have 12 months to complete the course. Additional help is available from LIBF. You can purchase specimen examinations from revision notes, revision guides, Paul Archer, LIBF. Paul Archer is fantastic. He talks about it in very detail about everything. He also have a YouTube channel, Paul Archer, a fantastic guy. LIBF is really good. Some people go through other companies, but just to give you an idea. If you know me, I always say that when you give an exam, it's very imperative that you have to know the grading criteria. If you don't know how your exam will be marked, you're most likely to fail the exam. So that's very important. So this just gives you an idea. If you go to LIBF, so it gives you a certificate in mortgage advice. It just gives you an idea of how MCQ questions and just guidance of how your exam will be assessed. So each unit is divided into different sections. The learning outcome it should have. So you have learning outcome for unit 3. So you should have understanding of buying process and key parties involved in that. The role of mortgage advisor and the principle of providing advice to deliver, use of additional forms, stuff like that. Principal factors affecting the value of the property. Like the area, roads, if there's a plan for a motorway, stuff like that. So it can affect your house price. Stuff like that you need to consider. So that tells you unit in unit 4. Then unit 5, it tells you about the structure and features, different types of mortgages. So they assess you on that for unit 5. Unit 6, they assess you on the implication of consolidating debt. Vulnerable customer, I'll talk about that in detail in a bit. So in the start of the book, you have some advice how to read the book. So I would strongly suggest it says calculate key terms, very important to read all that. If it has any figures, make sure you read that through, check the figure. It gives you a better understanding. And fact finds, if you have that in brief, make sure you read all of it. Check understanding is very important. Check your understanding and test your knowledge. They all combine in combination of all of these. It gives you a better understanding of what actually this book is about, and it gives you a better understanding. It's not all about passing your Cemap, it's about understanding. You're playing with somebody's life. So it's not about just passing your exam. You're giving advice to somebody, giving mortgage to somebody for 5 years, and there might be mortgage trap because of the wrong advice you have given. So don't ever think about just passing the exam. Make sure you read through it, you understand the book. Because you will be giving advice to other people, it might affect their life in a bit, good or bad. So make sure. So in brief, so test your knowledge, as I said before. Test your knowledge is answer all the questions. So check your understanding, and it gives you 4 answers. So you have to select one from there. So test your knowledge is very, very important. End of the book, on top of the specimen paper, as I said. So exam criteria is you must register with LIBF. They give you a hard copy, and you can also have a online tool where you can study online. Cemap 2 is divided into 4 units. So you have 2 hours to give the whole exam, but you have 4 units you have to pass. So each unit is 25 questions. So you must pass all 4 of them. So if you pass the first unit, second and third, but the 4th one you had 16 correct answers, so you will fail that. So you'll have to only give the last unit again, but you still have to pay £150. So it's very important that you have all the information before you starting or before you going for exam. Even if you have to delay the exam, make sure you fully confident that you can answer them. Multiple choice questions. So people think it's easy, but it's not as piece of cake as it is. It's not as easy as people think it is. It takes a while. So make sure you answer it correctly. I'll give you some hints how to pass the exam. So as I said before, it's 25 questions. You have to get 17 correct in order to pass. So you have 70% pass, 80% merit and distinction. So you must get 70% in all 4 of them in order to pass. You can book Cemap 2 and 3 the next day, but I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest Cemap 2 and then have at least a week before you go for Cemap 3. So same thing. So the exam criteria is book a test through Pearson. ID is required, and because of COVID, you can book your test online and you can give your exam online at home. Your passport or your driving license must be with you. If you're going to the exam center, you must empty your pocket. And don't worry about income tax and stamp duty calculation, because that will be provided. So calculator and a pen and a piece of paper will be provided so you can make some notes. They will take that away from you when you leave, so you can't take the notes with you. So upon finishing, you will get the results straight away. If you give your exam online, within 24 hours, you'll get your exam. There's no limit to how many times you can resit. And as I said before, the whole unit, you can pay £185 for 4 units. But if you fail one of them, you have to pay £150 per unit. So the top tips I will give you is make sure you read the questions very carefully. And put yourself in a position of a vendor or a mortgager or mortgagee or an estate agent. Read the question carefully. Eradicate the wrong answers. You will end up with the right answer itself. First time buyer relief, make sure if you have a question, somebody bought a house for £180,000, how much stamp duty they have to pay. And it told you, if it tells you that they're first time buyer, make sure you click on nil, because up to £300,000 you don't have to pay any stamp duty. So you must know that, so click on the right one. Another tip I wanted to give you, it might be 2 answers correct. So you might have an answer, 4 options, so you have to choose, but you can't choose from there. Then you have other 4 options which tells you the correct answer is B and C, or A and B, or all of them, or none. So you might have 1 or 2 questions like that. So be prepared for that. Difference between APR and APRC. So you should know that. If you don't know, you need to go back to the books. And I try to cover my answers while reading the questions, really, because you tend to make up your mind before even reading the whole question. So, and focus on vulnerable and mortgage trapped customers. They're very important as well. Vulnerable and different people between and you should also know the difference between undertaking and retention. So undertaking is when your house repaint or stuff like that, decorative stuff. So they might give you undertaking. The lender might do, but they will still. So if the mortgage is for £80,000, they will give you £80,000, and they'll give you undertaking just to give you a sign. Within 3 months, get your house repainted and stuff like that. So the retention is when £80,000 mortgage, and they will only £80,000 mortgage, and they will only release 70,000 or 50,000, stuff like that, and they'll say, oh, the roof tiles are missing or stuff like that, or a break or something major, structural damage. So they will give retention. So you might have to find that shortfall from somewhere else, or from your saving, or you have to borrow from somebody until the bank gives you the whole £80,000. Stamp duty tax, they might stamp duty land tax, they might get you on that. So they might say, this person bought a house for £180,000. How much stamp duty they have to pay, and it's their second property. For £180,000, if the property is in Wales, up to £180,000, you don't have to pay any tax. Or they might say it's first-time buyers, but if the property is for £200,000. So first-time relief is only in England. For up to £300,000, you don't have to pay stamp duty. But in Wales, you have to pay after £180,000. You have to pay the tax. And I think it's 3.5%, something like that. Self-employed, they always get you on that as well. So net income rather than turnover. So make sure no drawings. So if it doesn't matter how much drawings they do, taking money out. But make sure for self-employed, we only want to know, mainly want to know actually, is net income. KFI and European Standard information sheet. That's important. So fee question come as well. So if your fee is up to £250, you don't have to mention that. You can just say, oh, we'll charge a fee up to £250. But if it's more than £250, you must specify it. So if it's £267, you must say that. You must give the figure. So also know that as well. Good luck with the exam. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll make a video about Cemap 3 as well. I'm sorry I've been busy, but good luck with the exam. Hopefully things go well for you. Thank you very much.